My name is Bridget Miller, and today I am going to talk about the spiral of silence theory. Have you ever been afraid to speak up about an opinion you have because you feel like your friends will no longer want to be around you? This phenomenon is called the spiral of silence theory. This theory examines how the media influences the public opinion and how those who are opposed to the public opinion react while in conversation. We are going to review the theory's history, the current theory's status, the theory's evolution, and improvements that can be made to the theory. The spiral of silence theory, simply explained, is that it looks at the influence the media has on public opinion. The media can twist a story to fit the already majority public opinion on a topic. This leads Elizabeth Noel Newman, the theory's creator, to believe that when a controversial topic comes into conversation, those who oppose this viewpoint may not speak out because they fear isolation. However, as with any theory, there are those who do not fit into this model. These individuals are called the hardcore. They are willing to speak out on topics regardless of what the social consequence might be. Noel Newman attended multiple universities to study journalism, history, and philosophy. In 1984, her book was translated into English and published as The Spiral of Silence, Public Opinion, Our Social Skin. The approach used to examine the theory is empirical and scientific because researchers use data and opinion polls and questionnaires to theorize human behavior. This was known as the Train test. The Train test is an assessment of the extent to which people will speak out. This was used to examine what an individual was willing to speak about and in what situation. The major finding was that if an individual believed in something that was seen as the dominant opinion, they were more willing to share their thoughts. This was also shown in a recent study with 369 college students who were surveyed about two controversial topics, gun control and climate change. This theory has been named one of the most dynamic communication theories. It is one of the few that examines the impact of public opinion regarding communication contexts. This theory is quite strong based on the 7 theory evaluation criteria. It holds high regards in its scope, parsimony, utility, testability, and the test of time. Many communication theories are challenged based on their scope. Many are criticized for being too broad and unable to be easily defined. The spiral of silence theory is not one of those. Its scope is very specific, yet its utility is highly ranked. One of the greatest qualities of this theory is that it is very easy to understand and it has great parsimony. The theory is very easily explained and it is something that everyone can relate to. Most individuals at some point or another have felt that they cannot voice their opinion without being scrutinized. The spiral of silence theory lacks in heroism and logical consistency. Logical consistency is the internal logic in the theoretical statements. In other words, the theory should not contradict itself. For example, I do not think the media is the only influence on public opinion. A lot of what one believes to be public opinion is based on interactions with other individuals, which can lead to a pluralistic ignorance, which is what someone mistakenly believes to be the public opinion. Currently, the spiral of silence theory is applied to most societies and media sources. Most researchers are examining the new application of social media. How does this influence an individual's desire to express their opinions? Do they find it a safer environment to do so, or are they still afraid of virtual rejection? In a recent study, researchers examined how the spiral of silence theory is applied to social media. They found that the protection that is associated with being online allows for more opinions to be voiced. However, there is still a clear majority public opinion, and those gain more popularity than those in the minority opinion. They wanted to know how likely was someone to like or comment on an agreeable post versus a disagreeable post. They hypothesized that negative reactions to political posts will be negatively related to speaking out. They concluded that online interactions are not totally relevant to this theory. There is a willingness in some circumstances for the individual to go against the public opinion without fear of isolation. But there are still circumstances that may affect this. You may be unfriended by somebody who disagrees with you, or they may just block your posts. One weakness of this theory is heroism. Heroism refers to the amount of research and new thinking stimulated by this theory. Some have noted that this theory cannot be applied to multiple cultures at once. Most cultures have a spiral of silence around certain topics. A well-defined list of specific topics that fit into this theory would be very difficult, only because every culture is so different. A way to improve this area is to provide a broader sense of what controversial topics mean to different cultures. Social media has allowed us to reach across different cultures faster. The application of this theory must be broad enough to spread across multiple cultures at once in order to keep up. The spiral of silence theory was created by Noel Newman to observe how the media can influence public opinion and how members of that society will or will not voice their opinion. The theory is currently being redefined with new social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. The theory, for the most part, has a high evaluation among researchers. There are a few improvements that could be made to make the theory stronger, but for the most part, this is a solid theory that has been able to stand the test of time and has great utility in so many different disciplines. Now, all we have to do is move away from pluralistic ignorance and speak up about our opinions.